Welcome to Introduction to Statistics, PSY230. I am Professor Alice, and I'll be your instructor for this entire semester. You can also call me Professor A, whichever you prefer. I created this video so that I could help walk through, just as an overview, of what you can expect from this online course, where to find things, kind of give you an introduction to who I am, help you get an idea of who your instructor is and what to expect, and hopefully maybe be the catalyst for you to feel more welcome to reach out to me for questions or clarification or whatever is needed. So to kind of start things off, I have been at Mesa Community College now for almost, I think, 10 years. It's about 9.5 years. I started out as a part-time instructor and then was hired on as a full-time professor at MCC 5 years ago, and I am now the department chair of the psychology department. So kind of it's been a whirlwind, and I know that this virtual climate is new for many of us, and hopefully I will make the experience a little less intimidating for you. I try to provide as many resources as possible, and I do give a lot of opportunity for you to provide me feedback and to let me know what you need to succeed in this class. So in any case, I thought I'd share something personal with you. I have a lot of animals, but I have 4 pets at home, so maybe you can see this. This is Professor A's pets. These are my 4 pets. I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. As you can see, Carlos is my cat up at the top, and then my older cat, who is going to be turning 8, is Biscuit. And then I have 2 little mutts. They're Frankie and Steve, and they're both little terrier mixes. And they are kind of the hearts of my family at this time. These are all my children now, since how my children are grown up and moved out. I have 2 sons who are 27 and 30 years old. So these are now my babies, since how I don't have any grandchildren either. So I thought I'd let you get to know who I am. So you'll probably, during the semester, if you listen to some of my lecture presentations, which hopefully you will, because it's going to be very helpful, you might hear some barking in the background, or you might hear a big clunk in the background or something. It's probably one of the animals being mischievous. So just bear with me on that. So a little bit about me. I have been teaching statistics for several years now, 10 years since I graduated from graduate school in 2013 and have been teaching statistics ever since. I graduated from Northern Arizona University. So I kind of know some of the local universities around here if you ever have any questions. I want you to be successful, and I know that a lot of students are really scared about statistics, and even more so scared with statistics being online. But I am here to help you, and I assure you it won't be one of those online classes to where you just get in here and do work and you never get really any feedback or help. I'm going to be actively involved as much as you need me to be. So let's go through what you can expect on the Canvas course. So this is what you should be seeing on your introductory page. I have it set as I'm in the student view, so it can kind of look like what you would see it look like. This first page just has some basic information that you should have easy access to. Like, for example, I have office hours. Here's when my office hours are: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30 to 11, Tuesday and Thursday, 12 to 1, unless I notify you. They're through Cranium Cafe, so you could just click on this link and it would take you to Cranium Cafe. So if you'll notice, this just goes right there, and then you would basically say knock on my door. There would be an option for you to knock on my door to visit me in Cranium Cafe. So you'll need a microphone and a webcam to be able to meet with me. And part of the reasoning for this is because much of what we'll be doing over this semester will require you to do calculations of work. And sometimes I will jump on the whiteboard. As you can see, I have a whiteboard here, and I might work something out with you. Or I might want to see what you have in front of you so that I can give you feedback on maybe where you've gone wrong. So it's very important to be able to have a microphone and webcam to be able to get the help that you need. So when you go into this Canvas course, you'll notice you could click on the syllabus, and this gives you a way you could download the syllabus and print it, or here you could just scroll through and read the syllabus right on here. As you'll notice, I have a tentative schedule towards the end of this syllabus of what you can expect, when things will be due, and what you'll be doing. You'll have homework problems for every single chapter, and those problems are located at the end of your chapter, at the end of every chapter that you read. And so, like, if you'll notice, there it says week 1, chapter 1. Here, like if you have your textbook, at the very end of chapter 1, you will probably notice that there's kind of these like light blue pages, and then they're called end of chapter problems. And so that's where you're going to find the problems for the homework that you will be doing. If you'll notice, I have listed the problems here in your syllabus. So homework problems for chapter 1 are numbers 1, 3, 5, 8, 9, 11, 15, 18, 19, 20, 25, 26, 27, and 29. So those are straight from the book. These are very directly related to the book's teaching. And so these are important for you to be able to understand the work being presented to you in a voice like your textbook is asking. Now, I provide you lots of practice activities and things like that presented to you in the way that maybe I present information, which could be different, and that's the way that I will do on the exams also. So because statistics, you can have, it could be, you could have a question asked to you in 3 different ways and it means the same thing. I want you to be able to understand conceptually and not just remember things definitionally, like word for word. It's more of a general understanding that I'm hoping you get from practicing in different ways. So another area that's going to be important for you to review is in your modules. In the modules, that's where you're going to find everything that you need. So first off, right away, you'll see this Getting Started module, and this is where you're going to find this video, and you're going to find things like what you're going to need in this course, what is immediate and important right now. You'll have your resources for getting your lockdown browser and webcam set up, because all of the exams will be using a lockdown browser and webcam. So meaning you'll take your exam on the computer, but you will not be able to leave that browser for that exam. And it verifies your identity, so you'll have to show a proof of identification, and it assures that you aren't using other resources like a cell phone, or you don't have another person helping you with the exam. So on the exams, you are able to use your textbook, you're able to use your notes, but it's a timed exam, so you want to make sure that you're not relying too heavily on those. But it will give me a warning if it thinks you're using some form of technology like a cell phone or something like that, and it will not let you leave the browser to, let's say, look up something online. So that's where the lockdown browser is going to be helpful on the tests, on the exams for you. You have another source of finding me in my office hours, and it lists my office hours. If you click on this link, it tells you when my office hours are, the days and times and how to enter. For office hours, there is no appointment needed. Those are just for you to walk in. So imagine if we were in person and I was on campus, I would be sitting in my office, my door would be open between those hours, and I would welcome anybody to walk in and come see me during those times. No appointment necessary. It's the same thing. I will be on Cranium virtually, just hanging out. I'll be doing other work while I'm waiting for students to come in, but I'll be hanging out there ready to meet with you if you need, which is very helpful if you're needing help with some of your assignments. So other things, you know, if you have problems with technology or student support, always click on here. Sometimes that's the best route to go rather than emailing me and waiting for me to try to figure out what's going on with your technology. Sometimes the technical help is a good way, especially on weekends or something. Typically, I'm very quick about answering emails though. So if I don't understand how to help you with something, I'll probably be sending you to the technical help services. First thing, if you'll notice, I have a welcome survey. If you could please take that. I have 1 point that will go towards your extra credit for taking the welcome survey. It just gives me a little idea of who you are, what to expect, and what are some of your needs, just to kind of get an idea of what's going on. And then as you'll notice, the semester, I have the semester split up into 4 modules. So right now I have for you available module 1. So, and it's typically in chronological order. At the top of every module, you'll notice I have, you know, module 1 objectives. This is where you're going to find my lecture presentations, any videos or study resources. So, for example, instead of me just providing you a PowerPoint that you have to go through and you basically could get the same thing from reading your textbook, I'm actually doing a video presentation with PowerPoints to go through all of the information that you need to know, just as if it was in person. So this is how I would present it if I was in an in-person class. And this gives you a chance to, okay, you can stop, you can rewind, you can rewrite something down. I go through some of the problems carefully with you. Resources that are very, very important and useful. Every module I have the study guide of what you'll expect to have on the final or on the exam at the end of every module. And you'll notice there's specific videos per topics. So this is the whole chapter 1 PowerPoint presentation here. But then you'll notice that I have a video on classifications and measurement skills. Classifications and measurement skills. So that's a specific topic. And then I have a video on order of operations. And then I go into chapter 2. So it, go through every thing on these modules on this overview, because all of this is going to be very helpful for you to understand how to do your assignments, understand how to succeed in the class. I give you lots of hints and tips and things like that. So it's a very, very useful resource for you. And then I kind of have assignments, chapter quizzes, homeworks, and the exam 1, and they're all in chronological order. So it seems like a lot of work. A lot of these, like the chapter quizzes, are really just reading quizzes. So you'll read the chapter, and as long as you even skim the chapter, you should be able to get all the points for the chapter quizzes. And so you get 3 chances for each chapter quiz, and the highest score is what is recorded. And at the end of the semester, a couple of those quiz grades will be dropped in case you miss a quiz or you did poorly on a couple of them. So that makes it very nice for you. The active engagements, so I call them AE or active engagement. These are specifically practice things that help you to be better at statistics so that you can get a good grade on the exams. These activities are very reflective of what you'll be seeing on the exams. So it's very important for you to complete the active engagements, and not just complete them. Make sure you complete them by the due date, but if you complete them well before the due date, often I'll grade them as they come in, and then you can keep redoing them until you get it right. So the whole point of it is for you to use those as to review and see where you're making mistakes, and keep redoing them until you get all your points. So don't just plan on doing one and done with those active engagements. Those are something for you to actively learn from, and I'll give you feedback within them to help you out. So just go through, make sure that you're hitting all of the assignments that are due. And then I often give extra credit opportunities, so just be kind of looking out for those opportunities. Homeworks, you do your homework by hand, and then you just take a picture and upload it to the homework. And then once the homework, after the due date, I post the key. So if you'll notice, like here, I have Chapter 4 homework key. So you could open that up, and if you're looking to see what the homework, how you did on it, you can go through and you self-grade. I literally just grade homeworks by completion. So if you've sent me, like uploaded a homework that is incomplete, I usually give a grade based upon how incomplete it is. If you do 1/3 of the homework problems, you'll get 1/3 of the 5 points, basically, that you would earn. Or if you do half, you get half of the points. So that's kind of how that works. It's just based on completion, and then you self-grade to see if you're understanding the material correctly. So that's kind of how this works. One thing I do want to emphasize is the labs. So I do not have a separate section for the lab, even though you get, technically at the end of the semester, you'll see on your transcript, you'll see a grade for PSY230, and you'll see a grade for PSY231. I don't have two separate Canvas sections for these. I put the lab into the Canvas course because whatever grade you get for the combined in the course and with the course and lab work, you'll get for both. So if you get an A for the combined grade with your lab and lecture for PSY230, that's the same grade you'll get for the lab. So the labs are just a kind of a component of the class, but the lab is required to take. And it shows students are much more effective and much more successful at the in statistics if there is a lab component attached. Because what this does is it gives you extra practice, and it gives you an opportunity to see how statistics, research using statistics is done in kind of the real world, rather than just pencil on paper, like what we're really doing outside of the classroom. So these are usually lengthy projects. These are lengthy projects that are going to take more than just one time sitting down. So if you'll notice, lab activity 1 isn't due until February 11th. Well, you have 4 lab activities in this class. So this is due February 11th, but I can tell you right now, it is going to take probably 3 to 4 hours, every week. So, so it's kind of a process. So to do this, there's different things that you'll be doing, different components. So this says it's a quiz, but in actuality is what it is it has different components. So question 1, that's worth 10 points. And so you have to follow the instructions very carefully and do that component of the lab. And then there's question 2, and you do that component. And on this one, it's an Excel spreadsheet. And so you have to go through and do the steps carefully on that. So oftentimes it's several different components across an entire lab, and I would not wait till the last minute. So in this course, you're going to see there's these assignments that are due, multiple times throughout the week. And a lot of times students is what they do is they look at their to-do list. They go to the home page. I'll show you this home page, and they look at this to-do list and they just go, oh, okay, this is what's due today. And they do what's due today. And then tomorrow they look and they go, okay, this is what's due tomorrow. Well, it is not, I absolutely do not recommend you waiting until the day your lab is due to work on it, because you won't be able to do it effectively, and it'll run into problems because you're probably going to need about 5 or 6 hours of a chunk of time to complete it, because it should be a project. So the lab activity in an in-person class meets twice a week for 50 minutes. So think about that. And if, you know, this first module, we're covering about 4 weeks of material. So if you're talking about 50 minutes twice a week, so we'll just average that to 2 hours per week, you're looking at probably 6 to 8 hours worth of work to complete that lab activity appropriately. So don't leave it till the last minute or you will have major regrets. And in addition, leaving it till the last minute could be problematic if you run into technology issues. What if you thought you saved something and you didn't, and then you have to start it all over? Or what if your computer crashes in the middle and you don't get to save it? These are problems that you've got to plan ahead for in an online class. It's unfortunate when it happens, but if you email me, 2 hours after the lab activity 1 is due and say, you know what, my computer crashed, I was working on this, and I look and, oh yeah, you were working on it, but you were working on it 15 minutes before it was due, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, because this has been available for 4 weeks. I cannot extend the lab for you. And that's just to be fair to all the students who are planning and preparing ahead of time. It's not because I'm too strict or anything like that. It's just to be fair across the board. So those are some things just to kind of get you started. Please don't hesitate to email me with questions or any concerns. Do not only rely on this to-do list. Please work ahead. Go into the modules and look and see, not only what is coming up due in the next day or two, but what are some of the big projects that you need to work on, like the lab. Another thing that some students do is I have here a practice exam for active engagement points. They think, oh, it's just active engagement points, it's not a big deal. I'm going to study for the exam and not worry about that. Well, the whole purpose of that practice exam is a resource for you to study. I put a practice exam that is very reflective of what you will see on the actual exam. So there will be no surprises. So if you do that practice exam, it is like studying. It is studying. So make sure that you're doing those practice exams. And again, that's one of those ones where you can do more than once. You can do it over and over. I'll keep giving you feedback. And so that you can go in and learn from your mistakes. So get in there and do those a little bit early. I always say in the statistics class, and this is probably my strongest word of advice, front load this class. This is a hard class. And what I mean by front load is do your hardest work in the beginning of the semester. Work really hard now, because at the end of the semester, you'll be able to relax a little bit. It won't get super easy, but you'll be prepared for the end of the semester. Don't ever let yourself get behind in this class, because this isn't one of those courses where, oh, you learn chapter 1, we're done with that, we can forget about that. No, you have to understand chapter 1 to be able to understand chapter 2. And then you have to understand chapters 1 through 4 to do chapters 5 through 7. So it all builds. If you're not understanding one part of the earlier part of the semester, if you're not understanding something, it will hinder you later. So front load this class. Make sure you really work hard in the beginning, and it will help you towards the middle and end of the semester. So hopefully that makes sense. Please review the syllabus very carefully, because I have some policies in there that are going to be very important for you to understand. Do not hesitate to reach out by email and ask me questions. I hope you have a great semester, and I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you.